Greetings, and welcome to the Saved by Nostalgia podcast.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
I feel the need for speed.
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that?
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Murdoch. I'm coming to get you.
Get busy living. Or get busy dying.
You are next.
And the thing is, after all these years, I still look back with wonder.
And welcome to the Outsiders Podcast. Clint Schweitzer and Noah Groniger here as always, with a very special guest getting ready to join us. That would be Kenneth Kimmins, the actor. You guys know him as Howard Burleigh, the athletic director from Coach.
You also know him in Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon and Victor French. Oh man, he's been in so much. Dallas, Matlock,
Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Doogie Howser, Cheers. We could keep going all day. Bachelor Party, Tom Hanks. How could we forget that one?
He's one of those guys that you notice him. He's in a lot of things. He's been 37 years he's been in this business, and we are lucky enough to bring him along to talk about his career, talk about probably a lot of Coach stuff. We're both big Coach fans. Going to have to bring that up.
37 years and counting. He's filming a movie, Bridge and Tunnel, with some two talented guys, so we're going to hear about that.
Absolutely. Can't wait to do it. Kenneth Kimmins, welcome to the Outsiders Podcast.
The people of the city have been so generous to the players and their families and to all of us. I mean, how can we just abandon them?
Christine, nobody loves the people of Orlando more than I do. They've opened their arms to me. They've made me feel completely at home. Yet if it comes down to choosing between the fans and my paycheck, I'd shoot each and every one of them.
I told Shirley you ran off to Los Angeles with Rusty.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm a dead man! How could you do this to me? I'm innocent! How was I to know that? Well, even if I did run off with her, why did you come here and tell my wife? Who are you, Satan?
Oh, jeez, listen, when I used to pack for these things, I used to have 3 coolers filled with hams and cheeses and smoked oysters.
I don't want to hear about all the wonderful fishing trips in man-weeks past. I've only been on this one. And so far, all I have seen is a vision of hell that Dante only wished he had the talent to describe.
And now joining the Outsiders Podcast, an actor whose career has spanned over 37 years. You remember him from such TV shows as Coach, Dallas, Matlock, Highway to Heaven and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and films like Bachelor Party and Network. And now it's our pleasure to welcome actor Kenneth Kimmins.
And right here on the Outsiders Podcast, it is our pleasure currently to bring on Kenneth Kimmins, actor, 37 years in the business. You guys remember him from shows like Dallas, Coach, Matlock, Arrested Development, West Wing, Highway to Heaven. Ken, we could keep going, but I tell you what, the interview would last maybe an hour because you've done so much. How's it going, Ken? Good to have you.
It's going great. I thank you so much for calling, Noah, and appreciate it. And yes, it's a good thing you don't mention a lot more than, because I'm getting older. Every time you mention one of those shows, time is going by.
Well, you know what? And we were going to start. That's funny you mentioned that. We were going to start with 1976, your first movie, Network. Now, we don't want to date anyone, certainly, but you work with some great guys on that movie. I mean, you work with Duvall, Ned Beatty, William Holden. I mean, Network was your first foray into film. I mean, what was your just kind of take us through what it was like, your process getting into acting and then landing your first role in a movie like that.
Well, I started acting when I was in college professionally during the summers, and after each year after school, I was lucky enough to get a job in an equity summer theater, and as a matter of fact, I still do that. There's a place called St. Michael's Playhouse, which has a professional summer theater during the summer, and I'm actually going to be directing Tuesdays with Maury, which is a wonderful play. I'm going to be directing it starting next week. And all of that training, combined with some of the off-Broadway stuff and then the Broadway shows, led me into doing some movies. And, of course, never would I have dreamt that, the first big movie I did was Network.
Sure.
I certainly never expected to work with Sidney Lumet as the first guy I worked with in movies. But they were and they made it a very family-like atmosphere. Howard Gottfried was the name of the producer, and they made it a really friendly, easy place to work. Of course, Patty Chayefsky had written the script, and we all became friends, and it took all the nerves away from it, and they kept making my part bigger and bigger because I was having a good time with Peter Finch, who was one of the stars of it, Ian William Holman, and as a result, I ended up having a great experience and learning a lot on my first movie, so it was terrific for me. I see it every once in a while still, of course late at night, but
Sure.
I'm still seeing it.
Well, speaking of late at night, a movie that certainly is one that comes on late at night, usually USA Network. Of course, that'd be Bachelor Party. You were in that movie with Tom Hanks. It's really The Hangover before The Hangover, and that's another issue. But talk about Bachelor Party, because that was such an influential movie, such a great comedy. And working with Tom Hanks, that just had to be a wonderful experience.
Hanks was really great, and what had happened was he had not really made a big movie yet. Nothing huge of his. We know he just became such a gigantic star so fast. But he was a wonderful guy, really easygoing guy, very welcoming, very, much part of the cast. And he wasn't a giant star yet. But within a year, he had become a star. By the time we went to the screening of that movie, he already had really hit it big. But he is someone who has stayed really, really close to his actor friends. I know some personal things about him, favors he's done for people and so forth since he's become such a big star. He's a very generous guy, not only with charity, but also, with friends who sometimes have gone through a rough period before getting work again and stuff. And Tom has helped them out, and I know he was very influential in helping. There was a wonderful actress, unfortunately she passed away, named Wendy Jo Sperber, who, as a matter of fact, was in Bachelor Party and a lot of other things, and when she was ill, Tom was very much behind raising money to help her and her family and so forth. So he's a great guy to have worked with, and it was just before he became a star, so we had a very nice time together.
Well, from there, of course, you go on to do many other wonderful projects, and two that I kind of wanted to get into in this particular question. Can you talk about working with such great actors on Dallas and Matlock with Larry Hagman, Patrick Duffy, Victoria Principal, and Andy Griffith?
Oh, it was great. First of all, Larry Hagman, God rest his soul, he recently passed away. He had a really unique sense of humor, and he was quite a character, He was famous for, he lived out in Malibu, and on weekends he would have a parade up and down the beach by himself and gathering other people. He was just a wild kind of guy, very nice guy, and Patrick was great. I worked very closely with Patrick that year, and he was just a wonderful guy. He was a practical joker, and we had a lot of fun on the show, and he was largely responsible for it. And Victoria Principal, very, very nice. The whole cast was nice, and Kenny Kirschel, who was on that show, a wonderful actor. He and I, during the course of doing Dallas, we did a play together in Los Angeles, a revival kind of star-studded revival of 12 Angry Men, a very famous play, and the whole group on Dallas, they were just a wonderful group of people to work with, and I never dreamed. I thought I was just doing a couple of episodes. I think they flew me to Dallas to shoot, I think, 4 of them, and the director said, well, it's really lucky to be on the show, because sometimes you end up doing many more episodes than you were hired for, and I ended up doing a year, and I thought I was just going to do 4 of them, so that turned out to be that kind of was my job that year, besides other episodes. That kind of took care of my year for me, and of course, I still get residuals for Dallas because they show it all the time.
You go on to appear in a TV show, Highway to Heaven. You play a racist cop in that TV show. How hard is it to play a role like that?
It was very hard, and I was very surprised that they went ahead and hired me. But Michael Landon was at the helm there, and I went in and auditioned for him. And you know what? I either played kind of like corporate executives or really wild, kind of funny parts for the most part. And Michael Landon saw me, I auditioned that part for him, and he just faith in me that I could do it, and he was wonderful all during the shooting of it. He wouldn't have a big private dressing room like a star does. He just had a little, what we call them honey wagons. They're little places where you can dress, and they have a john in them, and they're not very big and all that sort of thing. And he had exactly what everybody else did. There was no star stuff with him, and of course he'd been a star for so many years, but he directed most of them, and he made it very easy, and I was so grateful to him because that was a part that nobody would have, hired me to do. And the other great thing about him was, he had the same crew that they had for Bonanza. Some of his cameramen were 75, 80 years old.
Oh my wow.
And he kept them through Little House on the Prairie, and he kept them through Highway to Heaven. He was wonderful about stuff like that. And to get a job on Highway to Heaven on the crew, you would have to wait until somebody on the crew passed away. I mean, it was incredible. You don't really see that in the business anymore, that anybody hires, practically anybody over 50 for a job. And he was very, very faithful to the people he started out with. He was a wonderful guy.
Can you tell us what it was like working with him on that episode, as well as Victor French?
Well, he was so much fun, number one, because he was totally relaxed. He had done so much TV. Victor was a very, very serious-minded guy, and Michael had him direct some of the episodes. And Victor and I spent a lot of time together, and he was, a really good friend of Michael's. And these were two very serious actors who happened to have this phenomenal show they were doing, and they took it very lightly, but they didn't take their jobs lightly when it came to acting. They were very serious, and then right after the episode was over, Michael would go, okay, drinks in my honey wagon, and he was that kind of guy. He would have everybody in for a drink, and then people would get in, not in their cars and drive home, but they'd get in the little bus that took us back to where our cars were parked and stuff like that. He was a wonderful guy, and Victor was a terrific guy, and Victor had been in TV for a long time too, so two very well experienced guys. I love working with these guys that work all the time because they're pretty much just members of the cast. They don't take themselves too seriously. They just want to get their work done, so it's a pleasure working with them.
Well, a show I'm definitely a huge fan of that you got to be a part of, and this is kind of skipping around a little bit in your career, but in 2005, you get to work with one of the strangest and funniest minds in the business, being Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Coming from a TV background, a movie, a film background, what's it like, working, with the ad-lib aspect of the show and, just a basic outline of the script?
Well, I do have to tell you, that is what you got was a basic outline. I went into audition for him, and I had met him early on when he was on the show Fridays. He was then a stand-up comic, and he was a regular on this ABC show called Fridays, which came shortly after Saturday Night Live had started. And I had been on Saturday Night Live, oddly enough. I was on the first ever episode of Saturday Night Live. That shows you how long I've been working, but I met Larry just briefly when he was doing Fridays, and I went to see him at the Improv in Hollywood and everything, and it was years and years and years later, and I don't think he even remembered. And I went in an audition, and they just gave you a very small piece of paper with the premise of the show on it, and you went in, and on film you improvised with Larry. And sure enough, I ended up getting the job, and I can't tell you how fantastic it was, because everything was improvised. They only gave you the situation, and the same thing for Richard Lewis and the other people on the show. They were improvising everything. Nobody really rehearsed anything. But what we would do is, and I worked just with Larry. I didn't really work much with anybody else. All of my stuff was with him, including a lot of stuff that wasn't time enough to put on that Larry and I did. But the same thing. You got what the premise for the scene was, and then Larry and I would just start. And we were lucky. We worked very well together and kind of quickly together. So what we would do is we would finish doing one take, then the producers were all watching it on monitors and in another room, and they would come in and say, the only thing you have to do is please add this because it's an important plot point, so make sure you get it in. Let's do another one and make sure you get this plot point in. And we would go back and we would shoot another take of it, but what was happening was we were refining it every time we shot it. So by the time we got into the really good takes, it was as if we had written the scene and were trying to perform a scene that was already written, even though we were ad-libbing it. But what happens is they refine those by doing it again and again. So even though you are completely improvising it, by the time you're doing the really, really good takes of it, you've basically written the scene. So it's a great way to work, and it's very freeing. And I was just lucky that I happened to hit it off with him when we were doing the scenes together, because they turned out very well, he thought, and I thought the same, that it went very well. It's a great way to work. I have to tell you, I really fell in love with working that way, because you're basically writing it and performing it also, so it was fun. It was great fun.
Going all the way back to 1989, you start out on a TV show that's truly one of my favorites, Coach. Can you start off by taking us through your audition and finding out you'd gotten the role as Minnesota State Athletic Director Howard Burleigh?
Absolutely. It was kind of unusual, but it was phenomenal. I went in and auditioned for this part. I loved the part right from the beginning. I went in and auditioned for the part of Howard Burleigh. It went very, very well. So I got the job. Now, the difference is I didn't know I was going to be a regular on the show. I thought I was just doing 1 week. So I went in and did the 1 week and went very well, and they said to me, well, we want you to do another one. And I thought, oh, how great. So I did another one, and this was now, first one I did was the 6th episode of the series. They had already shot 5 episodes, and they had created this character of the athletic director. So I shot 2 or so, and we were near the first season. They only did 13 episodes because it hadn't gone on the air yet. It was like a mid-season sort of thing. So I shot a couple of episodes, maybe 1 or 2 more, and that first season was over. So I thought, well, that was really a wonderful job. And the next thing I know, people are going, hey, congratulations and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just popping in there every once in a while. Well, then by the second season, which I guess was the first official 25 episode season, a 26 episode season in those days, they said, oh no, we want you to do a bunch more. So I did a bunch more. Well, I was having a great time, and of course it was nice to have that job. By the 3rd season, they said, oh yeah, by the way, you're a regular now. So it was thrilling, because I went in to do basically what I thought was 1 episode, and I ended up doing 9 years, for God's sake. So it was really a blessing, and of course I worked with all of those great people, and it was a terrific experience, because pretty much everybody except for Bill Fagerbach, that played Dauber, and Claire Carey, who played the coach's daughter, we were already in our 40s. So we had a tremendous amount of experience, and everybody's lives were relatively settled down. We were all married, and we were all, as I said, in our 40s. So it was one of the older casts on TV, and a phenomenal cast. I can't tell you how much fun it was to work with Gary Van Dyke every week. And Craig Nelson, of course, was phenomenal as the coach, and he was very strong in his mind about what he wanted the coach to be. When you start off doing a television series, it's a real shakedown cruise. Those first 13 weeks through the first season are tough, because people are trying to get their characters established. The writers are trying to adjust the characters based on how people work together, but also where they want the series to go. So there's a lot that goes into that first year of the show. People are kind of unsure as to what they're doing. After you see a series that's been on for a number of years, I know I always watch The Big Bang Theory, and I like the way those characters have developed and the way the actors have worked. And that kind of thing is not easy, because at the beginning, you're not sure what that character is really going to be yet. So that first year was kind of tough. And by the third year, though, we were really in our stride, and Craig was directing a lot of the episodes by then, and he was really my favorite director of the series. And we started really working well as a team, and it showed a lot because our show we filmed twice, once in the afternoon on a Friday, and once Friday night, and we rehearsed, Monday through Thursday and Friday morning. And by the time we were really rolling, we were done early on Friday nights, and we were very relaxed. And even if we had a problem script, or if someone couldn't be in the episode because they were shooting something else or whatever, by the time we were really rolling by the third year, we were having just a great time. And one of the things that happens when you shoot a series for 9 years is what happens in any job. You've got lots of babies being born to crew members and to cast members. Occasionally, unfortunately, someone passes away, so you have all of this the same thing you would have with a family or any long-time job where, babies are being born and people are dying. It's like life. And in 9 years, a lot of stuff happens. And one of the great things about Coach was that we got closer every year. And this doesn't often happen on a series. Usually what happens on a series is everybody starts out, everybody gets along great, has a good time, and then by the fourth or fifth year of the series, nobody really sees each other too much anymore. You just kind of come to work. That it becomes your day job, and you do it, and then you go your own way. But on Coach, and maybe this is because we started out a little older than a lot of casts, we got closer as the years went by, and we stayed close. And these things were all marked by us, and these events in our lives became important to us, and we actually became much better friends as the series went on. I still probably 2 weeks ago, Bill Fagerbach and I were exchanging long messages on the phone because we haven't seen each other in a while, and Jerry Van Dyke and I talk a lot. Shelley Fabre is still really, really, really close. So it's been wonderful, and I'm glad we had the experience the way we had it, meaning that I'm glad we got that series when we did, that we weren't too young when we got it, because I think we've been too young having a big hit like that. I think we would have taken it for granted, and we didn't. We took it really seriously because we all had ups and downs in show business, and we were happy to get the job.
As you mentioned, Coach went on for 9 seasons. You had been on a few random TV show episodes, done some movie work, but how good did it feel to have steady work as the show kept getting picked up season after season?
My God, it was phenomenal. I can't tell you what it was like. I had been on Broadway in a lot of shows that lasted, but on a Broadway show, if it runs a year, that's a nice long job. I had done, my wife and I met in the Magic Show on Broadway, which that show ran many, many years, and I did it for several, and that was theoretically, for an actor, that's a big long job doing a Broadway show for a couple of years, but to do a television show for 9 years was unbelievable, and we knew that we were picked up for the 7th year and the 8th year. We found out for those 2 years at once. So we knew ahead of time for 7 and 8 that we had, 2 years of work ahead of us still on the show after all those years. And we were thrilled. And the 9th year, we didn't expect, and I was actually asleep. It happened between our afternoon show and our evening show late in the season of the 8th year. I was actually asleep in my dressing room because I always took a nap between the afternoon and evening shows. So I woke up, I got the call to go in to get made up for the evening show, and I walked in and they said, well, we've been picked up the 9th year. And I was stunned. I didn't know if I was dreaming or not. And Shelley Fabre said, oh, no, it's a joke. They picked this up. We just found out we got picked up for the 9th year. So I was just thrilled. It was a phenomenal job to have. It's so rare to get a television series at all, much less a show that lasts 9 years. I was so grateful for it. And the last 2 years, the 8th and the 9th, I was also doing Lois and Clark. So I had a very busy 2 years, that last 2 years of Coach. Luckily, the two studios were right near each other, so it wasn't so hard to do. But it doesn't happen for a lot of actors. And I can tell you that I was grateful every single day of those, especially those last years that Coach said a little prayer when I came into the studio of Thanksgiving, because one thing was I was well aware of how unique this was to have a television series and how grateful I was as an actor to have it. So it wasn't something that just went by for me. It was a really, really big deal for me every day that I had that job. I was well aware of how lucky I was.
What are your memories? You touched on it a little bit with working 9 seasons with Jerry, Craig, Bill, Shelley, Claire, Chris, Georgia, and I could keep going on, the rest of the cast.
Oh, it was wonderful. As a matter of fact, I just spoke to Georgia last week. She's going to come and visit because she was in California. I think she's going to become a regular on Hot in Cleveland because, she worked with Betty White and Mary Tyler Moore all of those years. And she's been doing a lot of episodes of Hot in Cleveland, and I think they want her to come back and just stay with that show for a while. So she was very excited, and I think she'll probably be visiting me in the next couple of weeks. Shelley and I were like brother and sister. It was really wonderful, and Bill and I used to see each other in the summers. We'd play golf together during the hiatus of the show. But Jerry and I have stayed, we're in touch a lot of the time by phone. I was going to do a show with him, as a matter of fact, and then, not unfortunately, but I got busy doing something else, so I was unable to do it. But Jerry is still very active, and I would still like to be able to do something with him. But we've stayed in close touch, and as I said, I think because, first of all, it's not just that it's 9 years, but that we became very, very close to each other over the 9 years. You end up going through quite a bit, together, so it kind of bonds you, and we became really, really good friends, and it's funny, Craig Nelson is someone who, if I was in some sort of trouble, he'd be one of the first people I would call, because he's a really stand-up guy and a real tough guy, real strong guy, and he looks out for people, and he was very, very, very good to me and to my wife Lisa over the years. He's a wonderful guy, and we've just stayed very, very close, and I'm very grateful for that, because I know I can count on those people, and I think they know they can count on me, and we all count on each other,
Well, after 9 seasons of Coach, great 9 seasons, you guys call it quits. Were there some of you who wanted to keep the show going, others who wanted to move on, and just how did the end of the show come about?
Actually, it did work that way. Two of the other networks wanted to pick us up, and we found out about a year later, Craig was shooting something in Canada, and the then head of ABC came up and said to Craig, well, if you had told us you wanted to stay on the air, we would have just kept you, because we went off when Roseanne went off. We both went off at the same time, and it wasn't the audience, it was that the show was becoming too expensive to produce anymore. And that is by virtue of a very complicated formula that happens when the studio and the network reach a point where the extra money that was put into the financing by the studio has sort of been gone through, and it becomes more expensive for the network to do. But I think if it had been pushed, and also our executive producer, Barry Kemp, I don't think he planned on having to stay with the show for all 9 years. I think after a couple of years he was hoping to let other executive producers take over and he could go away. But, it was such a unique show, and Barry was so close, because he had created it, was so close to those characters. He often would come in when a script wasn't very good, or it needed some punching up. Barry would come in. So I think after 9 years, he was kind of tired. But certainly we could have done one more year, which I think certainly I really wanted to do an even 10, and I think most of the other actors would have done it. And 2 other networks, when ABC said, it was just becoming too much for them, two other networks, one of the networks wanted to pick it up for 4, which I don't think any of the producers was willing to do. and one of the other networks had the same problem that ABC had, which was it was getting to that point where it was becoming more expensive to produce. So that's how that came about. I still must tell you, I would have been really happy to just put in one more year. That would have been great. But I'm still grateful for the time that we had together. I think that the whole cast was ready to do one more year probably, and we could have easily done it in terms of numbers. But it, after a while, just the studio money wasn't any longer helping in terms of producing it, so there was sort of no choice for ABC. But there's a lot of enthusiasm still among the cast and crew. However, as I said, I'm very, very happy we had what we had and very grateful for it, so I certainly don't bemoan it, you know.
We're very grateful for the 9 seasons as well, and the show streams on Netflix, so never have to go a day without it, and that's always a great thing. And Ken, I'll tell you what, you've been just so gracious with your time with us, but before we let you go, we got to talk about the movie that you're filming right now called Bridge and Tunnel, and go into that movie, and also any other projects you got coming up, because after 37 years in the business, you are still knocking them out, and that's awesome, man.
Well, I'm still doing it and hoping to, and I thank you for saying that, Noah. But this movie, as a matter of fact, Bridge and Tunnel came up because the director, Jason Blesham of Bridge and Tunnel, was a big Coach fan. And he had watched it all the time he was in college, and when he wrote this movie, he actually wrote the part for me, and then they called me and asked me if I would do it, and he said, I watched all those episodes. He said, I've been watching it since I was in college, and would you do this part? And I was very, very happy to do the part, and I was in New York at the time, and I thought, oh my God, they're never going to be able to afford to fly me to California and put me up in a hotel now and have me shoot. And then it turns out they were shooting on Long Island, he and his producing partner, Adam Lawrence. So I ended up being able to do it. I was right there, and it's a wonderful part that they wrote, a really funny part, and not very much like Howard Burleigh, but still a very funny part, and I was so happy to do it because he's an up-and-coming filmmaker. I think his other movie was called The Newest Pledge, and I think that's a film, Lionsgate home theater film, so this kid's already got a track record, and it's funny because he grew up watching Coach, and I was sort of floored and very happy to do it. And now I'm getting ready to direct Tuesdays with Maury. I've been doing a lot of directing in the past years, and starting next week I go right into rehearsal for Tuesdays with Maury, so I'm excited about that. And then my wife is finishing Fiddler on the Roof, so she'll be finishing Fiddler on the Roof just as I'm doing Tuesdays with Maury, and then I think we'll take a little time off together, and then back up to the front, fighting the good fight, getting that work again, and hopefully doing some TV, and probably I'll go back to working in New York at least for a while, so that'll be exciting, I always look forward to it. I love to work, and I'm always planning on whatever the next thing is, so I never sit for too long, But
sure,
I'm very excited about these kids starting their career shooting this movie. So I'm very happy doing the movie, and I'm really happy talking to you guys. I really appreciate it.
Oh well, no one appreciates it more. This is just such a huge deal for us, as big fans, to have you on and to talk about your career. There's so many things that we didn't even have time to get into. So many roles that you've done. We tell your wife thank you so much for letting us borrow you here for a half hour, and we probably kept you too long as it is. We really appreciate it, Ken. I'll tell you what, we'll definitely be in touch, and we'll definitely be looking forward to the new stuff. Bridge and Tunnel, definitely going to be checking that out. Tuesdays with Maury, going to be checking that out. Definitely want to keep in touch because you were just so kind with your time, and we've enjoyed this so much. You'll seriously never know how much this means.
Well, it's a tremendous amount of fun for me. I'm very grateful to you guys, and anytime you want to give me a buzz, whether it's to do the show or just to chat, I'd be very happy.
That is awesome. We will definitely do that, Ken. So we will definitely be in touch. We'll send you the podcast when it's all up and complete, and we take care and definitely have a good weekend. And tell your wife we said hello.
Well, terrific, and thank you so much, guys. I'll be talking to you soon.
Appreciate it, Ken.
It was a real honor, Ken. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Wonderful to catch up with Ken Kimmins. Great memories, from his acting career. A career that's still in progress. 37 years in and still out there, still doing stuff. It's wonderful to catch up with a guy like Ken.
Yeah, Bridge and Tunnel, filming that 2014 release. We got to talk to him about Tom Hanks, Michael Landon.
Coach. Definitely got to talk about that.
How can I forget that? Craig T. Nelson, Jerry Van Dyke. I mean, such
working with
great
Andy
actors.
Griffith on Matlock, shows like that. I mean, Tom Hanks, like you said, Bachelor Party. Great stuff. And, we're just really thankful because, here at the Outsiders Podcast, we do, mostly sports-related interviews. Our podcast is mostly sports related, but we love branching out into the world of entertainment and guys like this that have been around and worked with some of the great stars that, in the history of TV and film.
Yeah, we can't wait to bring you guys more. We've had Peter Engel on. We've had a few pro wrestlers on. We're working on some musicians, some other actors. We can't wait to bring you more. We love getting into the entertainment world as well as the sports world.
Well, we hope you guys were entertained, and I hope you guys enjoyed having Ken on as much as we did. Thanks a lot for joining us here on the Outsiders Podcast. Clint Schweitzer, Noah Groniger. Be sure to check us out on all of our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and our website, outsiderspodcast.weebly.com. We appreciate you guys joining us. Thanks a lot to Ken for joining us. Thanks a lot. Have a great one, guys.